And now it's time for news from around the world. And meanwhile in Israel, you will probably not be surprised by this legal development coming about as a result of the last week death of Shireen Abu Aqleh, journalist killed there. They are not going to be holding a criminal-focused inquiry into the killing. The Israeli Defense Forces have claimed that because Abu Aqleh was killed in an active combat situation, there does not need to be a criminal investigation. It is still being investigated in a separate sort of procedural way, but not as a criminal act. The Israeli military police branch has accepted the assurances of Israeli troops that they were not aware she was in a village adjacent to the Jenin refugee camp when she was killed on the 11th of May. The decision marks a departure from the majority of recent incidents involving IDF shootings of civilians in the occupied West Bank, which has been followed by investigations. They say that they couldn't unequivocally determine the source of the bullet that killed Abu Aqleh, saying that it could have been a Palestinian militant or an Israeli soldier using a telescopic scope at 200 meters. And as of right now, the Palestinian officials have refused to give the recovered bullet to the Israeli authorities, although apparently they use the same bullets, so it's not even clear exactly how that would be able to be definitive. But in terms of an actual criminal investigation, within just 1 week, and look, honestly, much of the media attention of this issue has already evaporated. They are now moving on in terms of the criminal investigation. Jessica, what do you make of this?
Yeah, unfortunately not surprising. I mean, when you have members of the Israeli Defense Forces disrupting people who are in mourning at a funeral, that's the level of respect that they have for Palestinians, especially, murdering Palestinians. And to say, we had no knowledge of where the journalist was, this is just suggesting that what's going on there with the occupation is very true, that you're not allowed to move around freely. Why would Shireen have to have told them where she would be? And people who were at the scene, there were a lot of eyewitnesses who said very clearly what happened, that this was an Israeli soldier. They were not armed. The people who were with her were not shooting anyone. There are a lot of people who were there. And so it's good that they're welcoming an international investigation of this, because that's exactly what needs to happen. You have members of the IDF saying, she was armed with cameras, as if it's a crime to accurately report on what's going on in the occupation.
Exactly, yeah, and look, I don't know what happened. We do not know. It is looking more and more likely that we will never know for sure exactly what happened. So we can't say anything definitively about that. We can still at the same time criticize a lot of the stuff around this issue that has needlessly exacerbated it. Even if everything that the IDF is saying is true, that doesn't make the way they've communicated about this appropriate. It doesn't make the response to the mourners appropriate. And God only knows what's gonna be happening in that region over the next few weeks. All of that could still go in a different direction if people, took this situation seriously, and if the priority was making sure that nothing like this happens again. Unfortunately, it does. Journalists are killed around the world, but in this region as well. And we should be working to minimize that. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.